Greetings, everyone. For today's class, we'll be looking at estimation. I'm sure you've heard the word estimation before. I would like you to think for a minute. What do you really understand by the term estimation? When you hear the word estimation, what comes into your mind? And also, why should we talk about estimation in mathematics when we actually deal with real numbers in mathematics, real integers? Why bringing in estimation? So while you're thinking about um, your thoughts on estimation, I would like to talk about what we will be learning in the course of the lesson. We're going to talk about the meaning of estimation. We're going to look at what we can estimate. And also we're going to look at how to round off a number involving estimation. That is how to solve estimation. So please, just be open to learn. So, why do people estimate? Why estimation? One, estimation helps you to think fast. It helps you to give a sensible answer. It helps you to, um, that is in decision making actually. And also, it's very, very important, it helps you to know, to have a quantity to work with when the real tool is not there. For example, if you're going for measurement, you want to measure the length of a thing, what do? Maybe you did not go with your your tape. What do? As an engineer, it's not normal, it's not right, but then you can estimate the length of that thing. For example, your desk, your table, your writing desk in the class. You can estimate that. You can estimate that using meter rule. It mustn't be the normal tape you use for that. Okay? And you can also use your fingers to count the strokes. So that is the rationale behind estimation. Okay? Now, when you talk about estimation, what really comes to your mind, like I asked before? Now, estimation involves making a close guess. It's not really an exact thing, right? It is just a close guessing of a value without measuring it and without calculating it, like the actual calculation. Okay, you just guess something, but that does not mean that it should be fake actually, but just guessing. Okay, that is um, the meaning of estimation. So why do we estimate? Like I said before, to save time. It helps us think fast. Like that's what I said, but then it saves time because without you going back to the house to carry your tape to come and do the measurement, you can as well look for a way forward, okay, to go about things. Do you understand? For example, if mommy said, um, okay, you like buying things from mom, so she wanted to send you on an errand and she does not know the exact price of the thing, she might ask you, please, how much do you think this thing is? You said, okay. Let's say you don't know the price, but you just assume a price. That is estimation. Now, note that the price you're assuming shouldn't be way too down, not so close to the price. Okay? That is estimation. You might say something is 200 naira. You said, okay, mommy, it is, I don't really know the price, but then I think it should be, okay, maybe 190. Now, if you go to buy that thing at the store and the thing is actually 200 and you're with 190, I think if you have your way of dialoguing with the seller, you can get it for 190 because just 10 naira difference. Okay, and also you can get 300. Say, Mama, I don't know the price, but then let us go with 300 in case, that is just a guessing work. You're not actually correct because you don't know the exact price. That is estimation. Are you following? Now, what can you actually estimate? You can estimate the length of a desk in your class or anything that has to do with length. Okay, now what is length? Note that length has to do with should I say distance? Yes, length has to do with distance between a point and another point. It might be 2 points, 3 points. Okay, but know that it is a distance between points. Okay, that is length. I said you can estimate length. Now another you can estimate the area of a thing. Now what is the area? Area is simply the space covered by a surface. Okay, the totality of space covered by a surface is what we call area. You can estimate that because you don't actually know the exact value for the area. Are you following? Okay, the next one, what else can you estimate? You can estimate the mass of an object. Mass of an object has to do with the weight of the object. So the object can be heavy and it can also be light. So when you talk about estimation, how do you solve estimation? How do you solve estimation? The first thing you must do in solving estimation question is one, you must identify the numbers to be estimated. So the steps now involves number one, the first thing you must do is to identify the numbers to be estimated. That is the number given by the questionnaire. The second step is to do what? After identifying the numbers, what do you suppose? After identifying the numbers, what are you supposed to do next? Round the numbers identified to the nearest 10, 100, and 1,000, and the rest. So in this point too, you must be aware of your place value. If you don't know place value, it will be hard for you to cope with this. But if you are aware of your place value, it will be very simple for you to understand it. Now, what is place value? Place value is simply the importance a digit has because of its position in a given number. Now, you were taught place value before, but then let me just do a little dry run on it. So when you talk about place value, you have units, tens, hundred, thousand, tens of thousand, hundreds of thousand, and then you have million. That is, if you have a number like let's say 2, 3, 4. Now 4 has the place value of u, 3 has the place value of what? Tens, and 2 has the place value of what? 100. You've done this before, right? Okay. So you sit down. You start from your right, labeling to your left. Start from your right, labeling to your left. Now this will give you the knowledge of what we are supposed to do here. So I said number 2, round the numbers identified to the nearest 10, 100, and 1,000, and the rest. Now the next one is rewrite the number given using the rounded numbers. Rewrite the numbers given using the rounded numbers. Now evaluate accordingly. And number 5 says write your answer as estimated. After rewriting it, you evaluate as accordingly. That is, you solve it. If it is addition, you add. If it is subtraction, you subtract. If it is multiplication, you multiply. And you write your answer as estimated. So let's see some examples. So before we go into solving, let us really understand what rounding a number means. Because in number 2, that is step 2, says round the numbers identified to the nearest 10, 100, and 1,000. So what does it mean to round a number up or down, or to round off a number? Now whenever you hear of rounding off a number, it simply means increasing or reducing a number to a form that is close to its actual value. Now, it means what? To increase the number or to decrease the number, okay, to a form that is close to its actual value. It is not the actual value. It is not a fact. It is just an opinion. You're just trying to arrange it close, right? For example, I gave an instance. If something costs, let's say 200 naira, and you are with 195 naira, can you purchase that thing? Yes. There is all possibility that you will purchase it because of you. If you know how to negotiate, you can negotiate your way through. So it's better if you go with a closer value compared to not something that is very far off. Are we together? It wouldn't really make a sense. Do you understand? Okay. So moving forward, I said that rounding a number has to do with increasing or decreasing a number to a form that it is closer to its actual value. Now, what does that mean? Now, if you're given a number and you have to round the number up or to round the number, just round it off, what are you supposed to do? Take note of this. Numbers can be rounded up and can be rounded down. I've said that before. You can round a number up and you can also round it down. That is increasing and decreasing. Okay? Are you following? Now, when a number is to be rounded up, what happens? When a number is to be rounded up, what happens? Now, you only round a number up in a situation where you have, for example, you are given 3, 7, that is 37. How do you round a number up? To round this number to the nearest tens, it has to do with you looking at the closest number to the place value you were given. Now, this is the 10th position. You have the unit and you have the tens here, right? This is the tens. So your focus is here. But then your interest is here too. Because whatever thing this person will become is as a result of what this person will do. Okay? So this person can give its possession or it can reduce its possession. Okay? Now, when does this person gives its possession? When you are rounding it up. This person gives its possession when you are rounding the value up. This person gives its possession to this person when you are rounding the value up. Take note of that. So in this case, you round up a number when you have numbers digits between 5 and 9. Digits between 5 and 9. Any number of this range that falls here gives you increment to this number. But okay, let me do it now. So if you are given 3, 7 as a number to estimate, the answer will now become what? I said 7 will give it position to 3, meaning it's giving its 10th position to 3. So this one becomes what? 4 automatically. This one becomes 4. So it becomes 4. So since this one becomes 4, this one becomes what? This one will become 0. Because it has given out its position. Okay? Some people tell you it gives carry 1 from here, carry 1 from 7 and put here. It becomes 4. It's okay if that's how you want to understand it. But then the thing is that this 7, the discussion is that the 7 is giving its position to 3, making 3 to become what? 4. So 7 becomes what? I've said it already. 7 becomes what? 0. So the answer becomes what? 40. So let's see another example. What if you are given 6, 9, 5 and you're asked to round off this number to the nearest 100? Don't forget, the emphasis is on what? 100. Okay? But then, what are you supposed to do? To solve this, I said you must first and foremost know the number that is before the point of interest. The point of interest in this number is what? 100, that is 6. So know the number that is before the point of interest. The number that is before the point of interest is what? 9. 9 is before 6. Okay? Before you get to 6, you have to pass through 9. That's before. The focus now is the number that is behind the point of interest is what? 9. So these two numbers should be your consideration. So what do you do here? Now, don't forget that I said that for you to work on this, you must note the number that is behind the point of interest. Is it between 5 and 9? That is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Any of those digits will give you what? Increment. It will help you to increase the point of interest by adding 1 to it. But if it is between 0 and 4, you do what? It round down itself to what? 0. Do you understand? So the number now, this 9, is it between 5 and 9, or between 0 and 4? Now you can see that it's between 5 and 9. So we take it to be what? A push. So it will now push itself by adding 1 to 6. So when you add 1 to 6, it becomes what? 7. You've gotten that, right? So since it has given out its possession, this 9 becomes what? Becomes 0. 9 becomes 0. So if you leave it at this, that is 70, it is totally wrong, because the number that was given to you had 3 digits, meaning the number that your answer should also have 3 digits, the same digits. So what are you supposed to do now? You bring down 5. Now 5, you can't bring down 5 the way it is, because 5 had no part to play in this giving and taking. What are you supposed to do? You round it down to 0, because it had no part to play. Okay, so now let's see another example. Please, if you have questions, you're free to use the comment section, or better still, you write it on your notes. When we come to the class, you ask. Let's give another example. If you are given 705 and you are asked to round off this number to the nearest what? 100, what are you supposed to do? Now take note, the number here is what? 100. That is 7 is 100 now. Now 0 is what? 10. And 5 is what? Unit. And they said your number should be in the nearest 100. So meaning your point of interest is what? 7. The number behind the point of interest is what? 0. And the rule says if the number behind the point of interest is between 5 and 5 and 9, then you should do what? Round it up by adding 1 to the point of interest. But if the number behind the point of interest is between 0 and 4, what should you do? You round it down to 0. Every other number they become 0. So what are you supposed to do in this case now? We have 705. So since this number, which is behind the point of interest, is between 0 and 4, what should I do? It means automatically it becomes what? 0. So this one remain the way it was. No addition, no subtraction. So since if you leave it here, if you leave it this way, you're not correct, because this one has 3 digits, this one has 2 digits. It's not the same. Okay, meaning your estimation is very, very far. Don't forget, I said that estimation has to do with guessing the close value. So we must complete it by bringing this place to become 0. Just make it become 0, because it has no part, it did not play any part in the increment of these two numbers. Okay, so you leave it that way. It's very simple. Okay, so let's move. Now, if you are given a number such as a question such as, they say estimate. The question says estimate 297 plus 503. Now, what are you supposed to do? What are you to do? Recall the rules I gave already. The first step in solving estimation problem states what? Identify the numbers to be estimated. We've identified the numbers to be estimated to be what? 297 plus what? 503. After which, what are you supposed to do next? The next step says what? Round the given numbers. What are the given numbers? 297 and what? 503. So let's round the number. So the first number we are supposed to round is what? 297. Okay? So rounding this 297 becomes what? Don't forget what I said. You're rounding this number to the nearest what? 100. Don't forget. 100 to the nearest 100. Okay? So meaning 9 will give out 1 to 2. Making 2 to become what? 3. So once 2 becomes 3, 9 becomes what? 0. 7 becomes what? 0. So that gives us what? 300. Do you understand? Okay. The next number we're done with 297. So the next number we have is 503. So we have 503. Sorry. Okay, so we estimate this to be what? In this case, look at, since we are using 100, everything should be in 100, right? Okay, so 503. Now look at 0 is below what? Is between 0 to 4. So what should I do? Round it down, right? So 5 will not receive or give anything. It will just be 5, 0, 0. We're making 0 here because this 3 did not play any part, so it becomes 0. Okay, so we are going to add now. We are adding this one. Don't forget, we are adding this one, the derived or the estimated values, or the rounded values, anyhow you want to call it, which will now give me what? 0 here, 0 here, and 8 here. So the answer becomes what? 800. So the estimated value becomes 800. You don't have to estimate this again. You don't have to round this again. You don't have to round this again because you've already done that by doing this one. Okay? So that is just it. So, should we take more question? Okay. Let's take more question. So let's take more question. The next question says you should do what? Say estimate 39 times 18. So estimating 39 times 18, what will it give me? What will be the answer? Don't forget, what are you supposed to do? Round off all the numbers. Round off all the numbers. That is what you should do first. The first step is to do what? Round off all the numbers. Don't forget that. Once you round off all the numbers, it makes the work very simple. So this becomes what? 3. This number will become what? 9 becomes what? 9 is above 4. So I'll put 1 here. Putting 1 here becomes what? 1 plus 3 gives us what? 4, 0. Because this one has given out its position. 9 has given out, so it becomes 0 automatically. Okay? Okay. So, coming to 1 and 8. 1 and 8, you see that this one is above 40, right? It's above 4, sorry. It's above 4. So since this one is above 4, I will do what? Carry 1 from 8 and put here in 1. So it becomes what? 1 plus 1 gives us what? 2. 2. So 8 becomes 0. So now let's see it. We have 4 and 0. We have 2 and 0. And we are multiplying. 0 goes in 0 times 0 is 0. 0 times 4 is 0. 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 4 is what? 8. So let's solve this. So 0 comes down. 0 comes down. And 8 comes down. So the answer becomes what? The estimation becomes what? 8, 0, 0. That's the answer. That is the answer. Don't forget what I did. The first thing I need to do, or I did, was to do what? Convert the numbers, rounded them off. After rounding the numbers off, you do what? You follow the operation to solve. And you get your final answer, you write it out as estimated value. So let's see another one. If you are to round off, they say round off 0.98 to the nearest tenth, meaning TENTH. What are you supposed to do? It's very simple. It's very simple. Now you check where is the tenth from this decimal number. Decimal number has two parts. We have the whole part and the decimal part. Now you can also call it, if you don't want to call it the whole part and the decimal part, you can also call it the right hand side, which is from here to here is the right hand side, and the left hand side. Okay? So coming to the right hand side now, this one, 9 becomes tenth with TH. 8 becomes 100 with TH, 100th. Now 0 here in front remains U. This is where your U starts. Your U starts here, not here. Check it out. this point separates the value, the digits. So since it separated the digits, the formation also changes. So anything that occurs after a decimal point becomes tenth, tenth. The next one becomes hundredth. After hundred, we have thousandth. After thousandth, we have tens of thousands with th at the last. You now have the tenth to be on 9, right? So your focus point now is here. Your point of interest is here. So what do? Check the number that is behind the point of interest. Don't forget. So you carry one from there, from this one, which is now, it will become 0 now. Put it here. So 1 plus 9 gives us what? 10. Right? But you can't write 0.1, that is 10 now. You can't write this. It is very wrong. You can't write this. So what do? That 10 will now become, it will now project to it because it cannot assume this position. Each unit has the potential to contain numbers between 0 to 9. There's no 10, there's no 11, there's no 12. So this position, this thing is the container. This place can only contain number between 0 and 9. This place can only contain number between 0 and 9. This place can only contain number between 0 and 9. So since this place is 9, this place is 8. It means that when this place contains up to 9, what will happen? It will now overflow, pour its content to this place. So now what will happen here? It means that this one now becomes what? Instead of writing 0, you now write 1.00. If you don't want to write it this way, you can still write your 1. No problem. Because 00 means nothing. Okay? You can still write your 1. In this case, you can write your 1. And nothing will happen. Okay? Nobody will fail you. Nobody will do this. Nobody will do that. But if you don't write in when it is a real number, that is another challenge. That is when it is a challenge. But in this case, you can leave your answer at 1. Simple. Let's take another example. The example says, this one is much, but then we have to do it. The populations of 5 towns are 15600 and 17300 and 62800 and 74000. The last one is 34400. Okay? So what are you supposed to do here? We have to round off all these numbers. Round off all these numbers. But then let us read the question fully. The question says the populations of 5 towns are 15,600, 17,300, 62,800, 74,000, and the last one is 34,400. Each to a nearest 100. So meaning that the numbers were already estimated, or should I say rounded off. So since the numbers were already rounded off, now the question further says, find the total population of the 5 towns to the nearest 1,000. Find the total population of the 5 towns to the nearest 1,000. So what are you supposed to do? You can add everything, because we assume the numbers were already approximated, that is rounded off. But then in the nearest 100, that was stated. So we can either round this number off again to the nearest 1,000. Now where will our 1,000 fall on? The point of interest will now be 1,000 is here. 1,000 is here. 1,000 is here for this number, 1,000 is here, 1,000 is here, 1,000 is here. So meaning this one will now become what? The first one will now become what? 16000. I don't have space, please. I will still do it, but then let us just follow through. 16000. Okay? So the first one will now be 16000. The second one will now be what? 17000. Why is it 17000? Because 3 cannot give out any number. But in 15600, 6 is above 5. So it can give out, because I said between 5 and 9. So 6 is between 5 and 9, so it can give out. So that is why this 5 becomes 6. So in this 17300, you can't do such, because 173 is below, that is between 0 and 4. So it can't give out a number. Instead, it becomes 0. It will push itself down. That's why I have 0 here. Now this one is 628. This one 62800. So 8 is above 4. That is between 5 and 9. So 8 falls between that range. So it can give out a value, right? So that means 6 becomes 630. 8 becomes 000. So the next one is 74000. Since we have 0 here, it can't give out anything. So it becomes 74000. So this one becomes 34000. Why? Because 4 cannot give out anything. So it becomes 3400. Do you understand? So now we are going to find, let me erase some stuff. Okay, so this will now become 0 0 0 and 6 7 3 4 4. So 7 3 is 10, and 6 4 is 20 24. To write 4, carry 2. So 2 plus 2 is 4, plus 6 is 10, then 20. So you have 20. So this is the answer as estimated. Okay? So is that hard? No, it's not. So this is everything about estimation. Just understand the flow. Understand how to round off a number. You round off a number when the digit before the point of interest is above 4. That is from 5 to 9. Then if it is below 5, that is between 0 and 4, you round it down to 0 and replace 0 where necessary. That is just the thing. If you have any question, you are free to ask.